Bull, would you like to set up this draft, and how do we want to determine the draft?
All right, guys. So, as we said earlier, Cavs in the playoffs for the first time since LeBron left and for the first time in 25 years without LeBron. And I think, I think it was you that said this recently. It's like it's the first time going into the playoffs in a very long time where it's not championship or bust, right? With LeBron, even when he was young, it felt like if you don't win, it's a disappointment. I think before we get to the draft, I don't know. I feel like if they win this series, everything else is gravy to me. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
Well, I agree that this is the next step in evolution.
Yeah.
You know, there's a team that has not been in the playoffs since LeBron left.
Right.
A lot of these young players have never seen or smelled the playoffs. The first step is to get one under your belt. That's win a series, not just you got a first. The first is that you actually made the playoffs.
Yes.
Now the next evolution is to win a series.
That's right.
And then anything from there, Bull, is great.
Right. I mean, we can't. Nobody. If they lose. I guess if they got humiliated, but basically, if they lose to Milwaukee, I'm not going to kill the Cavs. They're supposed to lose to Milwaukee.
Here's the way it usually works. This is exactly the way it worked for me. I got a divorce. I was looking for my first date. I got that first
at the same time.
Like same time, yeah.
Close.
It was close,
real close.
Like when it was like, oh, this not gonna work. I was like, I was excited. I said, I'm 30-something years old and I get to go out and date whoever I want. I didn't realize that the game was that tough out here. So then you had the first date, right? Like you got somebody to say they went on a date with you, right?
Yeah.
So when you get to that date, you be like, oh man, this is great, man. This is, you know what? Listen, and then you go back and you tell yourself, who winning? I'm winning this one. I'm up 5. I'm the one with all the stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm tall. I'm dark, I'm handsome. Yeah, I'm winning this one. I should win this relationship, this situation. So you win, you get something on the board. You're like, yeah, I'm on the board. Then you bat over your head. You may get a second date with somebody else. But now they winning. They got a job. Their car look a little different. They look like they've been working out more than you. And they use all the right words. And when they go to a hot restaurant and you done went up top, you all over at Blue Point Grill. You spending all your little cake, and then she hits you with the, you got a couple years, young pup. Holler at me when you get you some checks up underneath your belt. And you like, and at that point, you fine, because all you wanted to work. Listen, she decided to go out on a date with me. It really ain't no L like that. That's the Cavs. You got a Knicks team.
Is that a gentleman's L?
That's a gentleman's L. That's a gentleman. You listen. She laid you down softly.
Yeah.
She could have said no. I'm not going to the date with
ghosted you.
She could have. She could have punted on the whole thing. But guess what? If you beat the Knicks, you feeling great about yourself. You're back into the. You are now relevant because now. You get the Milwaukee Bucks. These games is all 7 games.
Yeah.
And don't have it go 6. Don't have it go 6.
Well, if I beat the Knicks, then I'm looking to be greedy. Now I'm energized.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm energized.
The expectations change as you go, but nobody should be crazy about this. Mikey told me he sort of heard one of the hosts on my old station. You still work at the Fan, of course. Say the Cavs are way better than the Knicks. Give me a break.
Let me tell you something.
No,
that's crazy.
I heard that talk and I was like,
Yeah.
this here. I think the Cavaliers will win it, but a 4-5 matchup is typically one of the better matchups in the first round.
Are any of us going to be stunned if the Knicks win the series?
No, because it's a 4-5
You'll be
matchup.
disappointed.
It's a 4-5 matchup.
Yeah,
it's going to be. Listen, because I listen to the New Yorkers, right? Because I hear the New Yorkers think they like, if we lose to Cleveland, we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
this is exactly what they're saying. This is exactly what they're saying up there.
It's a must-win series for both teams. Like, I have friends back from New York that feel the same way that my friends from Cleveland do. It's going to be disappointing if we don't win this series.
They're like, how can we lose? They're like, how can we lose to Cleveland?
I know. I think, as someone who lived in New York, I'm not a Knicks fan, but as someone who lived in New York and has lived in both places, I don't know if that matters, but I think it's worse if the Cavs lose than the Knicks.
And Stephen A. Smith was on NBA Live the other day, right? And this is what he says. He said, because he's an avid Knicks fan.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And he said, let me tell you something. If the New York Knicks lose to Cleveland and Donovan Mitchell
from that
is
perspective,
responsible for doing us in.
Which would probably be the reason.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be all holy hell for them in New York.
He said that on our show when he came on.
True.
He said,
true.
this is what's going. He said, this cannot happen.
Yeah, from that angle, yes, I get it.
I don't know. This is the most interesting thing. I've seen it happen before. I've watched Paul George turn into Paul George on the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. Like, I've seen guys in the playoffs. I seen Brunson turn into that guy last year.
Well,
that dude.
Brunson came in here 2 weeks ago
Like, you
and
see what I'm saying?
laid it down.
So my thing is, I have no clue what to expect from anybody other than Donovan Mitchell. Not one. No. I just don't. Like, I don't know if Mobley is gonna what is he gonna do? I don't know if Darius Garland is gonna be.
Are these guys gonna be timid?
The game that's gonna be the game of games is gonna be game one. Because now you're gonna see, because New York, if they're smart, gonna try to punch you in the mouth and get you, right?
Yeah.
So will we be ready for the punch?
And won't they go into it? I mean, there's just so much you could do. And we'll get to the draft in a second, but if I'm the Knicks, and again, this is easier said than done, but if I'm Thibodeau all week, I'm saying we just don't let Donovan Mitchell beat us. Force everybody else to take the big shots. Again, may not be possible to do that, but that's got to be the game plan.
And Thibodeau's good at that, by the way.
Yeah,
he's one of the better defensive minds in basketball at forcing you into doing something you're not accustomed to doing.
Yeah,
that trap, I'm telling you right now. Listen, they are going to make them guards give that ball up. They're going to blitz them off that pick and roll. They're going to trap them. They're going to make sure. That's why I'm trying to figure out what Darius Garland has to be aggressive. He has to be aggressive in this game.
There's no question.
And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks win a couple games in Cleveland. The Cavs, to win this series, are going to have to win a game in New York.
Easily. For sure.
At least
they're going to have to win a game in New York.
All right, guys. So let's look at the two teams. If we were combining the Knicks and Cavs to make one roster, we're going to do a draft of the top 10 players. All right, we'll go. In which order do you want to do it?
So we randomized, Anthony and I just a second ago, made a list randomizer, which we did 10 randomizations between you three.
Go ahead.
So the official order we're going to go,
and
this is in snake order. Brad, you have first pick.
Okay.
Bull second, G third.
Okay,
and then
so
backwards.
we go 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9, and then you guys will pick.
And we have the 10th.
The 10th player. Okay, Brad, start us off.
Donovan Mitchell.
That was pretty easy. I don't think there's any debate on that.
Very easy.
All right, now for the second spot, I think there's an argument between 3 or 4 guys even, but it's a tough call. I was thinking about it.
Second is the toughest position.
I think I'm going to have to go with Julius Randle, ultimately, because he's the best big man scorer.
He's going to make an All-NBA team.
Right. I thought about Mobley because I want to get my best defensive player, but I'm going with Randle in the 2 spot.
Real quick, G, before you go.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any serious objections with Randle at 2, G or Brad? And if you have objections with any pick, let's hash it out.
I think Jalen Brunson is the number 2 guy in the series.
I think there's a couple there's number 2s out here. You got Randle, you got Garland, you got Mobley, you got Brunson. I think all 4 of those could be a 2.
Right.
I don't have no problem with it, especially if you projecting somebody gonna bring a little different a different energy in the playoffs.
See, because I'm not sure what Randle looks like in the playoffs, right? I've seen him self-destruct himself too.
True.
So,
right. I mean, we could say it about all these guys outside of Donovan, really.
Hey man,
Who are you going with the 3? You got 3 and 4, G.
This is tough.
That ain't tough.
Give me man.
You just said you take Brunson at 2.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Brunson at 3.
Don't put words in his mouth.
I'm talking about 4.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need 2 guards, but man, give me.
This is not creating a team, G. This is just ranking the best players.
Okay.
Oh,
this is not creating a team. This is ranking your best players.
Ranking. I said we're creating a team, but
okay. This is very close. This is Darius Garland by a smidge. He's a guard. He's going to have the Brock in his hands. I'm going to go by a smidge. He's more approved. He's more accomplished of a player right now at this point.
Before you go, Bull, now we've seen 4 picks. Mitchell, Garland, Randle, and Brunson, 2 for each. Would anyone argue Mobley should be over Garland or Brunson in that situation?
I could take.
If we're not creating a team and we're just ranking them.
We're just ranking the best
I
players.
mean, I think all 4 of those guys right now are better than Mobley.
Yes.
Mobley's certainly better defensively than any of those guys.
Yes.
But in terms of of his offensive game, and I was going to say those guys are great passers. But for a big guy, he's a pretty good passer too, actually, Mobley. But
and I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just asking questions.
yeah, I think Mobley belongs in the conversation, but I don't have a problem.
I mean, Garland is averaging. Garland shooting 41 from 3.
Yeah.
He's averaging 21 and about 8 assists.
Yeah.
He's shooting about 48% from the field. The dude, and he shoots about top 86, 87, 88% from the free throw line.
Right.
You got to look at a cat like that.
So does that make Mobley your next pick?
I think Mobley's the obvious choice at 5. He's the next guy on that second level, I think. So I'm going to go with Mobley at 5.
So that rounds out the first half of our draft. Brad, you're going to have back-to-back picks here, but just to recap, Mitchell went 1, Randall 2, Brunson 3, Garland and Mobley round out the top 5 of the 5 best players. We took 3 Cavs, 2 Knicks. Brad, you have back-to-back picks, number 6 and 7 here.
All right, for 6, give me LeVert.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Before you go to 7, let G and Bull respond to LeVert being number 6 here.
Ooh. So you got LeVert over Allen.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more critical to what's going on.
Man.
And RJ Barrett. And Emmanuel quickly. Just throwing out names here.
Here's.
Them dudes is all right. They not no showstoppers.
Here's the reason this is a very interesting one, and I can't argue with Brad on it.
I can.
Here's the thing.
Well, come on, Mikey. Let me see you.
I'll let G go first.
Yeah, bring me your smoke so I can shoot it down.
RJ Barrett averaged almost 20 points a game.
LeVert is a dude that can get 50.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett can't get 50. Jared Allen can't get 50. And if you're looking at it, if you're trying to build your team, you already got a defensive guy.
Well, but we're supposed to be. He said rank them based on best to worst player.
A team.
Not necessarily for the team. For a team.
Listen, I would have went with Jared Allen, but I'm not mad at the rationale behind Karis LeVert. When Karis LeVert is on, he on.
I personally would put both Barrett and Allen over LeVert. Go ahead, Mikey. What do you got?
Yeah, I think if you're gonna go with a wing, just looking at traditional stats, Barrett averaged 19.6 points, LeVert averaged 12.
We're not going by position. We're going by player, right? Not
I know.
by position.
I'm saying traditional stats, but they're both wings. So you have one guy averaging 20, one guy averaging 12. Barrett averaged more rebounds, 1 less assist. And then you go to their defensive.
He plays more, right?
3 minutes. 3 minutes
Only
more.
3 more
33 minutes to
okay,
30.
That's not a lot.
And then you go down to their defensive win shares and all the advanced metrics. And Barrett is essentially
all right. Well, it's
dead
not
even
your
there.
pick though. But
guess what? It was Brad's pick. That's why he gets to pick it.
The guy. So LeVert. All right, you got one more pick.
So my next pick is Allen at that point. That's my 6-7, right?
Okay.
I got the here. Let me be transparent and clear. The Cavaliers, I got them winning against the Knicks in a close series.
In 7?
In a close 6-7, right? Series, right? Because neither one of them. Because this is what you're gonna find out, Mikey. When the bright lights of Broadway actually come on, right, you're going to see who's going to melt. You're guaranteed that somebody's going to melt.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This is what's going to live in infamy. Now, I say it'll be more Knicks players melting than Cavalier players.
Let's hope so.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that the only separator in this entire thing is 45 for the Cavaliers. That's the only separator here.
Yeah.
That's going to carry them over the hump here. Right.
Yeah,
thankfully he ended up with us and not them. At 8, to me, it's easy. I'm going with RJ Barrett at 8. I think he's much better than anybody else still left on the board. So pretty simple. I don't know. Anybody have a problem with that?
No, I don't.
I do not. G, you have picked 9.
So they done got everybody off the Cavs is off the board. Who the last 2 starters for the Knicks?
Quigley and I would start. But you got who's sitting there?
You got
Quigley.
Josh Hart.
Give me
Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Mitchell Robinson.
No.
That Josh Hart. That Josh Hart is not to be diminished.
No. He's hitting jumpers. He's hard nosed. He can defend.
He been in playoffs.
Yeah. That's actually, to be truthful,
he could move
that's
up.
A dude.
He could bump up.
That's a dude that you look back if the Cavs lose a series and be like, well, we was doing cool, but Josh Hart killed us.
Mike, do I have this correct? Is he shooting 52% from three since
Yeah,
going
but he
to
only
the
takes 1.5 per game. He doesn't shoot threes.
Okay.
But he would be the perfect fit in Cleveland if they're able to give him a deadline. He would have been an ideal addition.
Yeah, he gonna be. Give me him.
He would have been a nice ad for the
So
game.
He was a nice ad for them.
So I will tell you, who's not going to melt under the lights of Broadway? Josh Hart's not going to melt.
Won a championship at Nova.
Not
Is
gonna
no
do
stranger
it.
to
He's not gonna
the
melt.
big stage.
Will not melt.
So Josh Hart goes in at 9. So you guys taking Quickly at 10?
We are taking Emmanuel Quickly, the sixth man of the year, favorite in the NBA. Averages 15, 4, and 4 off the bench. Also a steal and a half. And with that, we are split 5-5
Yeah.
down the middle.
Let me ask you this.
Cavs and Knicks.
If Brad had not taken LeVert and those other 4 guys had gone 5 through 9, would you have taken LeVert at 10 or would you have taken somebody else?
I would have taken LeVert. However, I do think you can make arguments for a couple other guys. I lean towards LeVert because he's actually had a little bit of playoff experience, and what you guys alluded to, he can go off for 50 at any point, and he may or may not be a swing guy in one of these games. But you look at the numbers, a guy like Quentin Grimes for the Knicks is shooting 39% from 3 on 6 3-point attempts per game, averages 12 points per game, right in the same line as LeVert, different stylistic players. If you're going to go with Mitchell Robinson, 10 rebounds, 2.5 blocks per game.
He's not bad.
He could be a difference maker.
Yeah.
And then I also think, as we talked with Jason yesterday, Danny Green's going to play a role in this playoff series. Like, I know it sounds crazy. I wouldn't put him on the top 10 best players on this list.
Yeah.
But if we're going top 10 most important, I think Danny Green really does have a role in that
Man,
list.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. It's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to coaching too, man. I keep going back to this. Ty Lue was able to pull so many strings in those playoff runs, even when the Cavs did not have the best roster. They would say, okay, just figuring out how, like, and even the philosophy, like they figured we can't out small ball these dudes, right? So what we need to happen is we tell LeBron and Kyrie we need 40 apiece.
Right.
And usually when you telling them we're gonna play iso ball, you're dead. But he said no. In Game 6, actually this happened to be, I think it was Game 5 out in Golden State. It was an elimination game before they even got back to the house. He said we need one game at a time. I need 40 apiece from y'all. Everybody else, move out the way. And just, there's going to be out of bounds plays. There's going to be some different things. And his rotation is going to be key. Because somebody, like OG says, somebody going to melt. And if you catch a melt,
maybe more than one guy.
If you see that popsicle sitting on that schoolyard bench and it's 85, you better get that popsicle out of here because guess what? It will melt. They need to be having guys ready, and I'm ready to go with veterans too.
Yeah. Speaking of LeBron, you mentioned LeBron. They're playing tonight.
Yeah.
Anybody think there's any chance the Lakers lose to Minnesota?
No.
Wait,
Minnesota.
not only are they playing Minnesota, but Rudy Gobert is suspended
Yes.
for punching Kyle Anderson. Jaden McDaniels is out for punching a wall and breaking his hand.
Yep.
Lakers are healthy, right?
And the Lakers are healthy in Los Angeles.
They're an 8.5
So,
point
so
favorite.
Mikey, who suspended him? Was that the Timberwolves or was that the league?
The
No,
Timberwolves suspended Gobert. It was Adrian Wojnarowski's weirdest tweet ever. I'm not going to say the words explicitly, but take the other one, Anthony. Show the actual
He called
punch.
him
We'll
a
show you the
female
play.
dog, and he didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Steve, you can take it full. This is the punch that got Gobert suspended. They were arguing in a huddle, him and Kyle Anderson. Anderson said, grab a rebound, you B-word. And, yeah, that happened. And now Gobert's suspended.
And listen, he shouldn't have called his teammate that.
So first of all,
But it's not reasonable to punch him after that.
Well, first, Gobert said, you need to grab. No, he said, Anderson
need to
said, why
grab
don't
a
you some
rebound.
block some. Anderson said, why don't you block some shots?
man, let me tell you
He
something.
said, why don't you get a rebound?
Let me tell you something. So all of us the weakest ever, right? Because it happens all the time, right? So it's not like the first time ever in the history of the league that teammates had a mini altercation, right? And it usually comes back together. I think the guard from Ohio State,
What's his name?
that's at Minnesota now.
D'Angelo Russell?
Came from Utah.
Oh, Conley.
Yeah, Conley. I'm sorry,
Mike
Mike.
Conley,
My bad. I drew a blank. So Mike says after the game, he said, "Man, we're grown men. This ain't nothing. It's nothing, right?" And I'm saying to myself,
wait, hold on, Brad. Are you saying the talk's nothing or the punch is nothing, or both?
I'm saying both. I mean,
Okay.
it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. It just happens, right? and it just happened on TV in front of people.
Yeah.
But it happens. So people act like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. I'm like, let me tell you something. You ain't seen the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that's silly.
Right?
I mean, it ain't.
Gobert's been a big disappointment there.
Yeah,
though. He has not played well.
Which is true.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Minnesota. Well, I can't believe Minnesota because Minnesota throws gasoline on itself all the time.
Yeah.
You've been in.
I played there
You've been there.
two tours.
Yeah.
Right. All the time. I'm like, I'm not suspending Gobert for this when I got a chance to, because the Lakers can be taken down. Yes, they can be taken down, right? And I said here. So now I'm going to lessen my ability to do that now. I can deal with Gobert after the season.
Right. Why? I don't understand why they would self-suspend in that case. Unless
sometimes
his
it's
teammates
addition
didn't
by
want him to
subtraction.
play.
Hey, look,
Is that
bro.
possible?
Hey, listen, and my thing is, or you could just let him shoot the fair one. Shoot the fade. Like,
Look,
listen, like you hit me out here. Listen.
That punch there wasn't worse than Draymond Green's.
Oh, no, listen.
And he didn't get no suspension.
No, hold on. Draymond, I might be waiting on him. I might invite him and his family out to a nice dinner and sleep him right at the table at Olive Garden.
You gonna ambush him?
I'm ambushing him at Olive Garden. He gonna be right in the face down and plate of linguine. Like, he be like, what happened? You gonna hit me in front of my wife? Yeah, I sure did. You thought I forgot. I told you I was gonna get you.
Bull, I can't understand this.
Yeah.
So that was worse than Draymond's?
Hey, it was horrible.
No, it's not. I don't understand. It's not a big deal. He shouldn't have. I don't know why the Timberwolves suspended him, but he's had a bad year. I don't know. Real quick, we got Pete Prisco. 10 seconds or less. Atlanta at Miami tonight. Heat favored by 4.5. Who you got in that game?
Oh, I got Miami.
Yeah, I'm not betting against Spoelstra in a one-game playoff.
And that Hawk team is
they're terrible.